So let's talk about the things you kill. Please tell our audience what the film is about.
The Things You Kill, it's a psychological thriller that pushes you to the edge to leave the cinema. And yet, as soon as you want to leave, it drags you back. So it's an experience of watching a movie that these days I miss myself. It's about Ali, who at first glance seems that he has his life together. He has studied in the United States. He's a professor. He has a nice life. But soon we see the issues. His sperm count is low, so he cannot have a child. His mother is ill. His job is precarious. And as soon as his mother dies under questionable circumstances, the life starts unraveling around him. And he has to face hard questions and hard choices.
And the story changes, like Parasite a few years ago, or even, Sixth Sense, which is like the biggest plot twist movie in the last few years. So there's something changing here too. How did you build the script to create that shift?
So what we wanted was to bring the audience slowly on board. So you go to the film thinking, I know this movie. This is a social realist drama about a man who has to find out who killed his mother. So we slowly welcome you to the film through that gate and let you build an emotional investment all the way through the midpoint. Right at the middle, I pull the rug from beneath the audience. And that's when, for 10, 15 seconds, the audience are completely disoriented, thinking, what happened? Then they have a choice. They can leave the cinema or give me a second chance. Once they give me the second chance to stay for a couple of more minutes, we take them to a journey that they have not experienced in cinema. And we go to uncharted territories together. That's the structural design for the film.
You can sense that when you see it, and also this sense of disorientation. It's a very Lynchian thing, right? Very David Lynch. But now that you're talking about exiled filmmakers, it also, now that you say it, reminds me of Raúl Ruiz and some of his films too, and the things that you just need to embrace yourself and throw into the story and just enjoy it. And maybe if you ask less questions, you're going to enjoy it more. Did you feel that the audience felt more confused to figure it out, trying to have questions, or you find that they enjoy the film as it went along?
Nobody left the cinema, so they stayed.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. They stayed. It's not a kind of movie that you watch and you come out and you have a laughter. No, it's a movie that you come out and say, I've got to go home. I need a beer. I don't know what this was. But I need to look in the mirror. Right?
Yes.
So I think we achieved it, by giving the audience a chance to challenge themselves. I love the movies when they treat me as an intelligent participant in the film, not just as a consumer.
The thriller, the genre that you choose, it has been used a lot lately to tell stories about men in any way or form, right? As he used to be westerns years ago, right? When you can talk about friendship, about parenting, about the identity, right? About who you are. Did you look to explore for masculinity issues, or you were more centered in the story and the story brought up, these things that people talk about today?
I didn't look at cinema for inspiration, and I didn't try to tell a story. My issue was I looked at myself. and I realized that, wow, there are dark corners in my soul that I never looked at. And I asked myself, did I have the same childhood as my sisters? The same upbringing as my sisters? And as soon as I started in that direction, the story came organically. And then the questions of masculinity, the crisis, the patriarchal system, how it objects men and women the same way, they all came as an organic result of looking at my own personal histories. It's a lot of it is based on what happened to me and my relationship with my parents.
Excellent.
Thankfully, they are both alive and well.
Yeah, that's right. So nobody can say
Yes,
anything about you. Yeah, that's right.
I have not killed
Yeah,
nobody,
correct. Yeah,
and it's a lot of me in there. Yes, I made a pact with my family that I'm going to make a movie, and please promise me not to watch it. And everybody
yeah.
agreed. Only
Yeah.
one of my sisters sneaked into a festival in Sydney and watched it. Nobody else has seen the film, thankfully.
Excellent.
But I had a very heartwarming reaction from Iranian people who have seen it all around the world. You know, so I think it speaks to them. Uh, it speaks to anybody who have ever come to look in the mirror and ask himself or themselves, have I lied to myself? If they have, I think there is something in the film that connects. I understand that the way non non-Western folks are taking care of their parents and their relationship is a little bit structurally different. But the main question cuts through that. The main question is about how do we deal with our own dark corners.
And tell me, please, about the co-production with Canada. How did you film become Canadian?
I moved to Canada when I was preparing the film already. So when I became a Canadian, the film was already in process.
Hmm.
So then we brought a Canadian producer, and the Canadian producer became the glue for bringing all other parts together. Canada has an amazing co-production agreement with most of the world, and that allowed us to bring amazing talent from all around the world to work on this film. And I think the core of it's Canadian, a story that only could be told through a Canadian lens.
Awesome. Can you please tell me a little bit about your experience in Latin America and your first film?
I have been living in exile for a very long time. And one of the first artist community which faced the question of exile were Chilean, and especially Chilean filmmakers who went to Europe. And some of them made quite an impact, especially in France. So that was an inspiration for me when I went to exile, that I can still maintain a career as a filmmaker. And when time came for me to make a film, while I didn't have a home to go and shoot it there, I reached out to Chilean. I said, "You all know what exile is, and can you adopt me and let me come there, and with you we together tell a story?" So I went to Santiago and I went to Valparaiso and cities around that. This was a international co-production, and we had 8 languages spoken on the set. It was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life to have such a support on the set from the Chilean community and everybody else.